Wagwan, my loves. It's Knowledge Butterfly. As always, sending you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This video is going to be about the timing of things in your life. How do you know when you're supposed to do things? How do you know when you're supposed to start a new job? How do you know when it's time for you to find the person that truly aligns with your soul, like your soul purpose, your soul mate? How do you know when you're supposed to move, or if you're supposed to move? That is what we're going to talk about. How do you know when it's time for you to rest? How do you know when it's time for you to work? That's what we're going to talk about. So this video is about how to determine things in your life, the timing. And I've been talking about divine timing a lot lately because that's what's been coming up in my spirit. And there are some ways you can do that through numerology. So I'm going to get into that now. So before I get into that, I recently... like I said, I went to the Universe is Conspiring too, and they have a guy who calls himself the cosmophysicist, and he goes by the name Ra Akul, and he's very, very good at what he does. He can break down details and let you know the timing of things by the month, by the year, even by the day, like when you should do things on a physical scale, on a physical level. And so I like going to events that he does because he helps me connect to a deeper understanding within myself of astrology, because my direction is a little bit different than his. I take everything from a spiritual perspective, and that's Pisces being in my 10th house when I incarnated. And right now, when I turned 40, Pisces was in my first house in my solar return chart. And so I want to bring up solar return charts and the importance of those, and also determining your timing. So before I get into the numerology portion of it, so we all know that we have a birth chart, a chart that gives us a blueprint of our energy. This is our essence when we incarnate. This is the essence of who we are, and the best path for us to take in order to fulfill that essence. All right. Now, each year you get a new chart. Each day you get a new chart, just to keep it real. Each moment, and that's because the planetary bodies are always moving. We are energy in motion. We're always moving. We're always there's always some type of movement or a cycle that we're going through. So because of that, our chart is always changing. So the way that the planets were alignment, the way the signs and the houses they were in when we were born, they're not in the same place each year that we go through. This year I turned 41. So on my 41st birthday, I already pulled it and started looking at it. It's almost going to be exactly where it was when I was born. All right. And then this is the year of change. So that because it's the number 5. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not going to get into it right now. But when I turned 40, the chart that I've been following right now, Pisces, which was in my 10th house when I was born, is now in my first house. Okay. And that is me embodying my career, meaning that I became that spiritual healer that is displayed in my 10th house. And when I turn 41, Pisces goes back to my 10th house. It's in the first house, but it's going to be in my 10th house. Isn't that something? So that shows you the power of astrology and the power of numerology. So when you start to have a better understanding of your chart and how it works, your birth chart, then you can start looking at your solar chart and you can return chart, and you can bump that up against one another and see what in the hell you're really supposed to be working on. I can even look at my chart and see why I started being so adamant with reprogramming my subconscious mind and putting it on my channel so much, and why I kept attracting and magnetizing people who were talking about it, like Dr. Bruce Lipton, like universal frequencies, like Brother Panic, like Bobby Hemmett. I was attracting those outside individuals because that's the message that was encoded in me, that I was in alignment with, because that's what my chart was telling me, and I'm in alignment with my chart and the flow of my chart. So your solar return chart, and you can actually go to a site called astroseek.com. I think it's horoscopes.astro-seek.com, and you can pull up your solar return chart and look at that. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting better and better at understanding on a spiritual level. I'm not at Rod Cool's level where he can break down minute by minute and month by month per se, but I'm getting there. And every time I listen to him, something more clicks to me. Because another thing that clicked to me on yesterday was the moon cycles. If we were to pull our solar return charts every year, we could plan out what rituals and things that we really should be doing during each one of those moon cycles. Because, for instance, my first house is in Pisces right now. Oh, well, at the time that I turned 40. So that means that this full moon in Pisces energy is dealing with my first house, the ascendant. Me coming in really into my own, coming into my own self and on a career type of energy, on an ambition type of energy, meaning that I am a spiritual healer. I am the Holistic Energy Alchemist. That's why the ancestors gave me that. They actually gave me that name in the Cancer season. Why that's important is because Cancer is the ascendant. When I was born, Cancer was in my first house, and Cancer was the only sign in that first house. So for me to get that Holistic Energy Alchemist is my name, and that business heal soul. So to be blah, 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 excitement. So to be coined the Holistic Energy Alchemist and to be given that business during the Cancer season shows you the alignment and the flow that I'm in right now, because that came during the season of my ascendant, okay, when I was born. And me going into this full moon in Pisces, I know that Neptune being in the house of Pisces when I turned 40, and I also had Mars in there, that's me putting action towards my dreams. That's me putting action towards me being my true authentic self, which is that Piscean energy, which is that spirituality. Like I said before in the last video, Pisces is one of the most spiritual signs. Why do you think Christianity is so popular? Why do you think it's so hard for people to let go of that? Because it's that Neptune and that Piscean energy, which is also illusions. It deals with illusions. So a lot of people still live in the illusion of Christianity. All right. Now, so solar return charts. Get into that. Pull your solar return chart, and I am learning minds and getting more acclimated with it. Another thing I'll point out with my own solar return chart, I had when I turned 40. Scorpio, another very spiritual sign, in my 9th house. The 9th house is normally ruled by Jupiter and Sagittarius, okay? And that house is about higher knowledge and expanding your mind. It's also about foreign travel. Most people think of foreign travel as being you physically traveling to another country. Before you travel to another country, you've already traveled to that country in your mind. So this is literally you traveling to subjects that are foreign to you. This is you getting into that occult knowledge. Scorpio, to me, is the occult sign. Is you getting into occult knowledge. Is you starting to learn numerology, astrology, cardology, all those things. I had that in my 9th house. So that's why this whole time I turned 40, that's all I've been focused on. That's why I had to come back from Jamaica. Because had I still been in Jamaica, there is no way that I would have been doing all of this. Okay, Jamaica was my time to be in nature and to connect with things and start learning about different plants and how they benefit your body, like moringa. For me to be around real natural shit, like real fruit growing off the trees and cultivating that, learning how to use a machete. That was me really getting into that type of shit. But 40, I was meant to be back here in Atlanta. I was meant to be around something where I can easily be accessible to YouTube and accessible to certain books, so I can read about occult knowledge and information. And that a Scorpio being in my 9th house, that's what that's about. And that's why, and it actually falls in alignment with one of my cycles. So let me go ahead and get into numerology, and you can see how the numerology matches the astrology, all right, and the cardology. Now, so the first one I want to talk about is your major cycle. So your major cycle is the grand theme and the major lesson for in 3 chunk periods, all right? And these 3 periods are divided into 28 years apiece. So even though your last one, I'll get into it. So anyways, like I said, it's 3 cycles. Getting back to the number 3, the first cycle is called the formative cycle, 28 years. The second cycle is called the productive cycle, 28 years. And the last one is called the harvest cycle, all right, which could be 28 years. So your first major cycle, you get that number by the month you were born. So I was born in November, all right? That's an 11 month. the 11th month of the Gregorian calendar, and it's considered a master number. All right, it's the only master number in the months, and that speaks to a lot because I feel like the sign Scorpio is more tied to the month of November, and I really don't want to get into it too much. Why I feel like each sign is really tied, has more magnetism in certain months. So even though each sign is divided into 2 months, because it normally starts at the end of one month and ends at the beginning or the middle of another month, there's a particular month where that energy is more potent. Okay, so that you should be doing things like January. To me, January is more Capricorn energy. December is more Sagittarius energy, even though Capricorn begins in December. All right, I feel like it's the sign that it's the sign that month is mainly in. So the sign that has the most days in that month, and Scorpio has the most days in the month of November. All right, so that is that's why I feel that the number 11 is the only intuitive number in the months for a reason, because it's tied to that Scorpio energy. But that's something totally different. That's just my own feeling that I get. But I'll allow Spirit to keep revealing more and more to me. But when you if you make that a singular number, it's the number 2. All right, so my first major cycle is actually the number 11. But it still has a 2 flavor to it, singular. My second major cycle, and so that first major cycle is from the ages 0 to 28. My second major cycle starts at 28 to the age of 56. However, technically it's more like 29 to 55, because 0 to 28 was my first cycle, and it's the day that you were born on. Okay, so I was born on the 26th day of my month. So 2 plus 6 is 8. So my second major cycle in my life, from the ages of 29 to 55, is the number 8. That's the power and the energy I'm working with. And then the third major cycle comes based upon your year. Again, I was born in the number 7 year, which is the Neptune number. So the number 2 is the moon energy. The number 8 is Saturn energy, and the number 7 is Neptune energy, which all 3 of those play a very important part. Remember, Cancer is my ascendant sign, so that moon energy being the first part of my cycle, Saturn being the second part of my cycle, and then Neptune being the 7th, and Pisces is my career. So 7th is the last cycle, and that starts at the age of 56 for me, okay? So it says that you always begin a new major cycle in your personal year 1. I haven't gotten into personal year numbers yet, so more to come on that. Like I said, the major cycle is the grand theme, and it's the major lesson that you're supposed to be dealing with during those 28-year chunks. And these major cycles tie in also with your pinnacle and your challenge numbers, which happen during the major cycle. So your major cycle is a theme, and then you have other numbers that fall under that theme, okay? Pinnacle and challenge numbers, I'm going to get into those too, all right? Let's see, I took some notes. So your pinnacle and your challenge numbers are sub-themes. Your personal year number is also going to be a sub-theme, because they fall underneath the major cycles, which is your formative, productive, and your harvest time, all right? And so this tells you basically what you're supposed to focus on a year-by-year basis. What should be your focus, just like your solar return chart. And it also tells you the timing of things in your life. So, and this is all determined by your life path number as well. Let me see if there's anything else I want to add to the major cycle. So I told you how you get those numbers. Anything else? One other note I took is that these cycles help you determine the conditions and the lessons you'll need to meet or overcome in order for yourself to advance down your life path. So my life path is a number 8. So in order for me to advance down my life path, I have to start to embody that number 8 energy, because I'm in an 8 major cycle. All right. And I'll just tell you what an 8 major cycle is. It's a cycle of money and recognition. This cycle is an excellent time for work, career, success, and financial reward. It's the hard work and ability to overcome obstacles and setbacks that bring you true success. This is a time of competent management, good planning, and acute organization, because you develop the gift for seeing the broader picture and boldly carrying out that vision. Business and career dominate the 8 major cycle. It's not uncommon to gain financial freedom because there's a compelling drive to take control of your work and bring it to the new heights of achievement. You're viewed as an authority during the later stages of this cycle. So by the age of 55, I'll be the supreme authority, because that's the end of this cycle. Like I said, they're 28-year chunks. That'll be the height of this cycle. Let's see. And others deem you powerful. All right, so that's when I take on that energy. What else? Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about during that. So anywho, that's the major thing. So the major thing for my life is the number 8 right now. The money, power, success, the recognition, to the work, the building to be my own independent authority, to become the authority. That's why I had to get into learning all of this occult information to get into what my true career path is, which is spirituality and being a spiritual healer in many shapes, forms, and fashions. And most of that spirituality has to deal with the woman, because my ascendant was in Cancer when I was born. So my focus is on women and children mainly. That energy is what what propels me to the number 8 status, is to focus on the woman and that divine feminine energy. All right, that's why I had such a struggle with my own divine feminine energy. The next set of numbers is your pinnacle and challenge numbers. Pinnacle numbers reveal your potential for achievement and success. All right, they show you the potential you have. All right, it's like that 0 energy. This is your potential energy that you have to pull from. All right, these numbers show what is possible to attain at a given period in life, what to expect on the road ahead. There are 4 pinnacle numbers. Each represent a distinct period in our lives that is governed by a singular theme. So your major life cycles, there are 3 periods. Your pinnacle numbers, there are 4. That gives you that number 7 energy, that chakra energy. Okay. These numbers work together to help us work out our destinies. So the pinnacle numbers are tied to our destiny number, where the major life cycle is tied to our life path number, and it assists us in meeting our destiny number. The pinnacle numbers actually help us with getting to our destiny number. And if you haven't watched my videos talking about the 5 core numbers, this is like alien to you, so you don't even really know what the hell I'm talking about. So you need to actually turn the video off right now. Turn it off. Stop it. Go into the the video talking about the 5 core numbers, because that's your true essence. That's the essence that you're born with, and this is how you get to obtaining that essence, to activating it. Okay, to activating your gifts. So the pinnacle numbers are instructions on how to live with the least amount of resistance. This is going with the flow. I've been talking about the flow. That's what the universe has been downloading to me. We are supposed to be getting in alignment, flowing with that universe, so we don't have to work so hard. The reason why most of us have been working so hard is because we haven't been in alignment. The reason why it's hard work at the beginning is because we're not in alignment, and we're not in alignment because our subconscious mind has been programmed to not be in alignment. That's one thing. Secondly, we are emotionally hurt and traumatized, that to the point where we're living in so much fear, and fear cannot be in alignment with the universe, because the universe operates off of love. Okay, the love frequency. I was actually going to call my channel that at one time, the love frequency, because I feel like that's my vibration. Anything else? So yeah, basically the pinnacle numbers point the way toward manifesting your best reality. All right, and now I'm going to tell you how you come up with your pinnacle number. So the first, well, before I get into that, the first and the last pinnacles are going to be the longest periods, the longest cycles. The 2 in the middle are going to be 9 years apiece. The first pinnacle and the last pinnacle are going to be over 9 years. And I'm going to give you an example. So your first pinnacle covers ages between the ages of 0 to 27. It can actually be longer for some people, because it can go up to 35 years. So it could be 0 to 26, or it could be 0 to 35. So it's anywhere between the 0 to 35 range, basically. Okay. The 27 is 3 9-year cycles. in that first pinnacle. All right. So it varies in length based upon that person. That's why you have to do your own calculations. The second pinnacle is the period of blossoming and ripening. It's the period of responsibility and family. And of course, like I said, it's 9 years in length because it's in the middle. The third pinnacle is also 9 years in length, and it covers the middle age and maturity. All right. It's a time of manifestation and a time of reward. All right. And that's actually the pinnacle that I'm in right now. Then the fourth pinnacle represents a time of aging and wisening, of retirement and reflection and spiritual wisdom. It's the harvest cycle and lasts at least 3 9-year cycles, roughly from age 50 to the end of life. Some may have to have up to 6 cycles. Some may have up to 6 cycles under this pinnacle, up to age 104 or so. Wow. Each pinnacle is a time of development. Each represents major growth. So how do you calculate these pinnacles? Before I do that, let me make sure, because I had took a note. I don't need it. Okay. So how do you calculate your first pinnacle? You're doing addition in order to get your pinnacle numbers, all right? So your first pinnacle is calculated by the month you were born and the day you were born. Example for me, I was born on 11/26. So that would be 11 plus 26, which gives you 37, and 3 plus 7 gives you 10. And reduce 10 down to 1, because you want to reduce it down to one number unless it's a master number like 11, 22, or 33. Okay? Because they have a different energy to them. So my first pinnacle from 0 to 28 years old was number 1. Second pinnacle, you calculate from the day, by the day you were born and the year you were born. So I was born on the 26th day of my month and the year 1978. All right? So I've already said that the day I was born is 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. The year I was born, 1978, adds up to the number 7. So 8 plus 7 equals 15. Reduce that 15, 1 plus 5 down to the number 6. So my second pinnacle was the number 6, all right? And that was the ages about 28 to plus 9 is, 37? 37 years old. Third pinnacle is going to be your first pinnacle plus your second pinnacle. So my first pinnacle was the number 1. Second pinnacle was the number 6. So 1 plus 6 gives me 7. I'm in right now in that third pinnacle, the number 7. Number 7, guys. Number 7. So that really is like that hermit. And that's why I've been in the hermit for so damn long. This stage started at the age of 37. That's when I start going through my awakening, at the age of 37. So it just goes to show you the alignment that you're being in. And you don't even know it. You don't even know it. And then my last pinnacle, my fourth pinnacle that I'm not in yet, it's going to be your month plus your year. I was born in November 11 month, which is the number 2. And my year is 1978. Again, that's the number 7, singular. So 2 plus 7 equals 9. That's transformation. That's endings. That's giving to others. That's humanity. Giving to humanity. That's letting go. And it's the perfect number. That's letting go of this earthly plane. So when I tell y'all this is my last time incarnating here, my numbers speak it. My numbers speak it. Okay? The next stage is how to find your pinnacle age range. So I was telling you my age range. The first pinnacle equals, you get your first pinnacle to get your age range by subtracting the number 36 from your life path number. So you have to go back to that video where I talked about how to calculate your 5 core numbers and your life path number, because that's the first number. And my life path number is the number 8. So when I subtract 36 minus 8, that gave me the age range for my first pinnacle. Sorry, I heard something. Which was 0 to 28, because 36 minus 8 is 28. So 0 to and that first pinnacle. After that, you're just gonna add 9 to get your other pinnacles. So for instance, your second pinnacle, since again I just said that my first one was 0 to 28, then I will add 28 plus 9, and that will give me 37. So 28 to 37 was my second pinnacle. Then 37 plus 9 gives me 37 plus 9, 7 plus 9 is 6, 56. So then my third pinnacle would be 37 to 56. And then my last pinnacle, you don't have to do anything with that, because it'll be 56 until I transition. All right. So you might have to repeat this number a number of times to write this down. Now I'm going to get into the challenge numbers. All right. The challenge numbers, that's like having a yin and a yang, all right? So you got your pentacles and you got your challenge number. The pentacles are the positive attributes and things that you should be focusing on. Your challenge numbers are numbers that are going to come off as a challenge for you, but it's not for you to it's not for you to let go of those or not face those things. It's actually for you to embody those things and become those things, because the path of least resistance, when you stop resisting it and become it, then it helps you achieve your pentacles. Now, there are 4 challenge numbers that outline for you what it is that you must face to reach the highest peak of your pinnacle. Okay? To reach the highest, I'm going to read that again. The 4 challenge numbers outline for you what it is that you must face to reach the highest peak of your pinnacle. I'm in a pinnacle 7. So there's a challenge number that is I need to focus on in order for me to reach the highest peak of the number 7 energy. Okay? So it says you might think of these numbers as doors you must go through to advance up the spiral staircase of your personal development. These numbers are your opportunity to understand the major lessons you've come here to learn, and by doing so, you'll uncover the unique plan for your life set in motion by your birth date. Your own cosmic code for living this life well. So I said before, your 5 core numbers are like the matrix. They're like your essence. They're the 5 core numbers are the code, your code, and the major life cycle, or the major cycle, the pinnacle numbers, challenge number, personal year numbers, they help you crack that code. Okay. What else? Challenge numbers are not meant to overcome, as I was saying before, but indicate what you must become. All right, become it. And how do you calculate your challenge numbers? It is the same formula as your pinnacles, except for you're doing subtraction, not addition. So again, that goes into the positive. The pinnacles are the positives. The challenges are the negatives. That's the yang pinnacle, the yin challenges. All right, so using your birthday, all this again is coming from your birthday. All right, so the first challenge number, you're going to subtract the day you were born for the month you were born. For me, that's the number 8 minus 2, the 26 and the 2, or the 11, and that gives me the number 6. Okay. However, I did a reduction and I reduced that down to a 3, and I'm gonna tell y'all it actually made sense to me because I could see both of those being challenges for me, the number 6 and the 3. Second challenge number, you're gonna take your year minus your day of birth. So my year 1978, the number 7, minus my day of birth, the 26, the number 8, and you're gonna subtract it just that way. I know that 8 is a greater number than 7, but you are going to subtract it because it still won't be a negative number. It'll still give you the number that you're supposed to have. So 7 minus 8 is 1. All right, so 1 is my second challenge number. And I've already, I'm not in that cycle right now. I'm in the third cycle, third challenge number, and you get that by subtracting your second challenge from your first challenge number. And that's 1 from 6. 1 from 6 gives you 5. However, I also did 1 from 3, and that gives me 2. And it makes sense for me because I had to embody the higher aspects of the number 2 and get out of the lower vibration of codependency or thinking that I had to have somebody. But the number 5 as well, embodying that freedom, because I crave freedom. That's my destiny number. My destiny number, I crave travel. I crave knowing other cultures. I crave being able to go wherever the fuck I want to go. And in order to do that, I have to take on that life path energy of the number 8 and being my own boss and my own authority. Okay. The number 4, my fourth challenge number, or the fourth challenge number, is calculated by the year you were born and the month. So 1978, the number 7, singular, and the month, I was born 11, singular 2. So 7 minus 2 gives you what? 5. All right, so my fourth challenge is the freedom, which is what I so crave. I just saw a butterfly. So in some instances, you'll get a 0 challenge number. I actually did somebody's calculation, and they had a 0 challenge number, and that came from me subtracting the year they were born from the day they were born, because both of them were added up to 7. All right, so it's 7 minus 7. So if you have a 0 challenge number, just to let you know, that only indicates that it indicates that a person will bring spiritual knowledge and universal law to assist him or herself in working out of the 0 challenge. It also means that you can have all of the challenges and none of the challenges. And think of the number 0 as everything and no thing. I asked the ancestors if they were here with me to have a sparrow land on this fence, and a sparrow just landed on this fence. And that's really powerful, because when I used to sit out here all the time and I would be working on my business, sparrows would just come and sit on these fences, and I knew that was the ancestors here with me. And so that was confirmation, because my sis sees the red cardinals all the time. Sparrows, his eyes on the sparrow always come to me, or come around me. Where was I? Oh yeah, so it's being everything and no thing, because it's no, that's God. God is all things and is no thing. That means that everything means that God is all of these forms, manifestations of all of these forms that we see, all these humans, these birds, these animals, these butterflies, everything. But it's also no thing. No thing meaning it is in no form. It's formless. And when we leave this restriction of this body, we are that no thing again. We are formless. We can be anything we want to be. All right. And here's another sparrow. And the key to being everything we want to be on that plane is being everything we want to be in this physical. All right. So manifesting everything we want. That's, to me, kind of gives a little bit more of a better explanation of what that zero challenge is embodying that and becoming that everything and that no thing. All right. So it's almost like you kind of choose your challenge numbers. You choose what the things that you want to cultivate, and that's intuitively knowing the things that you need to work on and cultivate. All right, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add with this. I could tell y'all a little bit about my seven pentacle. I wrote it down somewhere because I have this stuff in different places. All right, found it. Oh, this is getting into the personal year numbers. I think I'm gonna do another video with the personal year numbers. But I'm just gonna tell you real quick about the cycle that I'm in right now. So I'm in a pentacle number 7, all right? And that started at the age of 37 and it goes to my age of 46, all right? So it says you're in a time of study, research, introspection, or soul development. What have I been doing? Okay, I've been doing a YouTube channel, Knowledge Butterfly. I've been reading occult information, coming into spirituality, coming into my Pisces energy, because Pisces is in my south node when I was born. And so this full moon actually deals a lot with my south node energy, because I'm finally being given the keys to the kingdom, the keys to my natural talents and gifts in Pisces. That's why Pisces is in my ascendant when I turn 40. So again, that ties into this energy. So education, scientific interest, study, and specialization are strongly recommended. I've been doing all that studying, and I'm still going to be studying, even coming into my business. This pinnacle lasts at the age of 46. However, I'm a constant student. I always feel like I can learn more. All right, so and that's me being born in the 7-year Neptune. So there's a quality of the individualist, separatist, and the loner present under this number. I've been the hermit, guys. Even though I've been dating people, I've still been the hermit. And it's and on YouTube, still been the hermit though. And it's a time to be reclusive and focus on the inner landscape. Country living is excellent during this period, or anywhere you'll have time to learn and to be alone. Learn about yourself, do research for areas of specialization, learn about mystical thinking, and understand the principles of right living. I lived in Jamaica in the boondocks in the country for a good period, and living in the jungle, the rainforest, in a little house. By myself, without any real internet. I didn't get internet to the end, so I wasn't really in the phones. I wasn't on social media. I was taken in nature. And then being back here at my father's house, he lives in the country. That's why I hear birds and things all of the time. So all of this, cultivating all of this, is in alignment with pinnacle number 7. All right. So it also says this pinnacle brings much wisdom, and people come to you for your wisdom, because you develop a talent for explaining the unexplainable. Specialization in the field brings good money. As a second or a third pinnacle, which is my third pinnacle, this 7 offers a chance to refine or specialize your skills, to move deeper in your chosen direction, while at the same time exploring the meaning of life on the inner planes. That's what the fuck I've been doing. All right. And then my challenge number that I've been dealing with from 37 to 46 is challenge number 5. So you discover that the love of changing rules can bring impatience and restlessness and desire for freedom. That's why I had went to Jamaica. I wanted to be free, honey. If you've been stuck in a rut, usually 4 energy, it's a great time to loosen up. I have been stuck in 4 energy because I turned 40. That's 4 energy, and I'm in a 4 building year. So I have a lot of 4 energy, and the challenge with that is still being to have some bit of freedom in order to keep myself from being restless, because that 4 energy is really heavy right now for me. So it says, change and all that it brings may cause fear, holding back, or confusion. But taking a risk, being flexible, are encouraged under the 5 challenge number. You're learning to free yourself from limiting behaviors. I've talked about that with that Saturn energy, becoming Saturn, that are restricting your creative energy. It's a timely change for the better. That is the true challenge. All right. So it's knowing the timing, again, getting back into that timing. So all of this is playing into all of the physical things that I have been doing, coming into these divinations with learning the tarot, and all of those things is tied into that number 7 energy. And then that freedom and also taking risk. I've been doing that. I did that when I moved to Jamaica, and I let go of everything and quit that job. I took a risk. Also taking a risk with starting my own business, Heal Soul, and taking a risk and a chance on myself and being my own boss and being my own authority, stepping into my life path number 8 energy. So I'm going to end the video on this note, because I do want to get into the personal year numbers, but I have to check and see if my niece is up, so I might have to film that a little bit later. So you can, the personal year number helps you get into the theme of the year that you're in. And I keep saying that I'm in a 4 year, a building year, and so I'm going to get into that more so you guys can understand that, and you can know how to calculate your own numbers. So like I said, I'm going to end the video on that note. If you're new to my channel, guys, and you want to continue to get information like this to help you gain insight on who you truly are and what you should be doing right now at this time in order to walk in your soul's purpose and to fulfill your soul's purpose, go ahead and click on the subscription button, and also click on the notification so you can be notified when I post new videos. As well as, guys, you can follow me on my social media. That's all in the description box below. I have 2 Instagram pages, and I also have a Facebook page. The Instagram is for my Knowledge Butterfly and my Heal Soul and my business Heal Soul. And then the Facebook, currently I only have for the Knowledge Butterfly, but it will be expanding to Heal Soul as well. So you guys can be in the know, and I can give you guys tips on balancing your chakras and things of that nature. But all that's going to be launched in the start of the season, not right now, because me and my sis talked about that, how we have to get ourselves in alignment and put our businesses in alignment with these seasons. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do that as well, aligning yourself with the flow of energy. That's definitely a part of me and my gifts. So you guys can follow me on my social media so you can be in the know when I post things, all right? As well as if you want to reach out to me for a free consultation with my business Heal Soul, I'm the Holistic Energy Alchemist. You can do so through the my Gmail account, and I have that information as well under the description box. As always, I appreciate everybody, my new subscribers, my returning subscribers, people who just were magnetized to my channel, so the universe led you to my path, because we are in sync and in alignment with one another, guys. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for growing with me. I'm learning so much about myself. Therefore, I'm learning things that actually is beneficial to help the people that I'm here to serve. So I'm very appreciative to the universe, and I'm appreciative to the ancestors for everything that's happening in my life right now. I know that I'm only continuing to go up. So thank you, guys. I love you. Peace.